So, I am challenging you to make your first $10,000 online before January 1st, 2025. If we break it down, you would only need 20 customers at $500 each to make $10,000 or 5 customers at $2,000 each. Now, since we probably haven't met before, my name is Fred and I'm an entrepreneur from a lower middle class background. I went from having only $400 to my name over 5 years ago to generating upwards of $1,094 in a single day at 21 selling services and digital products. And I also went from being socially anxious to the point I couldn't even go for a walk in the neighborhood to spreading my message with the world on social media and generating over 40.7 million views and starting with no audience. See, I'm a big believer in Parkinson's law. In simple English, what this means is that the longer you allow yourself to finish a task, the longer it's going to take. Productivity doesn't just happen automatically. You have to create the appropriate conditions for you to be productive. And naturally, the more time you have to complete a task, the less effort it will require in the present moment. And conversely, the less time you have, the more effort will be needed. Which is why I like to say that the shorter the time frame, the harder the intensity. If you wanted to run a mile faster, it would require more effort on your part. If you wanted to lose 10 pounds in only 30 days, you would need to follow a more drastic approach than if you gave yourself 90 days to do the same. So by setting goals with a clear deadline, such as the goal to make your first $10,000 online before 2025, you create an environment in which productivity becomes an obligation, not just an idea or a wish. Because let's be honest, oftentimes we take a lot more time than necessary to complete a task. Students know this especially well. I don't know about you, but when I was in school, I would often get started on my assignments at the last minute. And I know lots of people who did the same. Now, some so-called financial experts will tell you that if you want to become wealthy, you need to invest. Invest in the stock market, invest in 1 or 2 real estate properties, or even invest in a 401k. It's not necessarily bad advice. But the truth is, if you want to be rich while you're young, you can't listen to them. Do you really think that these self-made multi-millionaires in their 20s that you see on social media made their wealth through investing in the stock market or investing in a 401k? Absolutely not. They started a cash flow business. I personally preach starting a business while you're young to generate cash as quickly as possible and then investing, acquiring assets to not only protect yourself against inflation, but also to make sure you stay wealthy and keep getting wealthier. That is the strategy I'm personally using. You've been fed this lie that the common folk can become rich if they invest for long enough in the stock market or in real estate or in a 401k. But the truth is, investing was never made to make the poor rich. It was made to make the rich richer. Just think about this. If you had $1 million sitting in your bank account right now, wouldn't it be a stupid thing not to invest the biggest part of it? If you don't invest your money, year after year, it's only going to lose value due to inflation. However, when you acquire assets you invest, you benefit from inflation. Your money works for you, not the opposite. And the first rule of the rich is that money works for them, they don't work for money. A lot of people don't understand that what gets you here won't get you there. What gets you to $5,000, even $10,000 a month in business won't get you to $100,000 a month, even $1 million a month. When I had my first $50 day at 17, I wasn't doing the same thing I was doing when I made my first $1,000 day in sales at only 21. With each new level comes new challenges, new strategies, new ways of doing things. Investing is not the best way to build wealth starting from nothing. Remember, first, get rich through a business, get cash quickly, and then invest a huge chunk of what you made. And that's how you create massive self-made success. That's the same strategy I'm utilizing personally. Do you know the number one reason why people fail to build a profitable business? It's not because of lack of intelligence or skills or work ethic, it's none of these things. It's because most people decide to start a business without understanding what they're doing. They start a business around their passion and they quickly go bankrupt because no one wants what they have to offer. Or worse, they pick a business model that isn't suited for beginners, and so of course they doom themselves to failure. That's exactly what I did with a friend of mine back in 2019-2020 when we were both broke students and decided to start a dropshipping store. But because we couldn't afford to spend hundreds of dollars on Facebook ads at the time, we quickly had to shut down that business. Ideally, as a beginner, the business model that you start should meet the following criteria. It should have high profit margins. That way, you only need a few customers to quit your job. If you were to go and sell some random item for $50 doing dropshipping, it would take you a lot of sales to actually be profitable because revenue is not what goes into your pocket. And remember, on profit you need to pay tax. And then, ideally, that business model should allow you to get customers for free without the use of paid advertising. Because when you're broke, you can't afford to spend $100 a day on ads. Most likely you will lose everything, believe me. Which is why I genuinely believe that the best business models for beginners are to sell services and later on digital products. That's exactly what I've done, and that's exactly what allowed me to have my first $1,000 day in sales at only 21. Now, if you'd like to hear my full story, how I went from struggling financially to generating over $1,000 in a single day at only 21, I've recorded a free video in which I share with you my step-by-step process. That way you can just copy me. The link will be in the description below. Here's my motto: consume less, produce more. I can tell you that this simple phrase changed my life. You have to understand that money follows value. If you spent all day watching Netflix, then of course you're broke. What value did you produce for others? Over 5 years ago, back when I was still a broke high school student, I wasn't providing any value, and that's the reason why I wasn't earning any money. Self-made individuals become wealthy through producing value in the form of services or products. Now look, if you showed me your calendar, I would be able to predict your future. I'm not even joking. So what did you do today? Did you do the actions that will get you closer to your goals, or did you procrastinate? How much value did you produce this week? How many prospects did you reach out to? If you're a content creator, how many pieces of content did you release in the previous week? If you're a comedian, how many jokes did you write? Focus on producing more, and if you do that, you'll start attracting money. You won't have to chase it anymore. The reason a fast food employee isn't making a lot of money is because they're not providing a lot of value to society. Their skills are easily replaceable. It's much harder to replace a surgeon than the guy who makes fries at McDonald's, and that explains the difference in pay, which is why you need to learn high-income skills. Make yourself hard to replace. Congratulations, you got your first couple customers. You're now making $5,000, $10,000 a month with your business. So what's the next step? A big mistake I see a lot of newly successful entrepreneurs make is that they automatically start upgrading their lifestyle as soon as they make a little bit more money. You think you're hot shit because you make 5 grand, 10 grand a month? Relax, brother, some people make that in a day. I'm not saying you shouldn't be proud of your achievements. You are still in the top 1% of society, but humble yourself before life does. And I get it, especially if you come from a low-income background. Now you make more money, it's very tempting to start spending it all on luxurious, nice things. But you can either be the guy who's going to waste most of his money on nice, expensive shit, or you can be even smarter than that and reinvest 90 to 100% of what you make with your business and scale it from $10,000 a month to $100,000 a month. And then, believe me, you'll be able to buy anything you want without sweating over the price tag. Trust me, there is nothing worse than getting a taste of what abundance really is, but then you blow everything because you spend too much money instead of reinvesting it. You have to time your moves. So if you want to avoid going right back to square one, learn some patience. That being said, if you found this video helpful, share it with a friend, and together, let's blow up this YouTube channel and empower ambitious individuals across the globe to become financially free.